Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Good morning, everybody. We are The Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRosa filling in for Jess Hilarious. And let's get in some front page news. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning, good morning. Happy Friday and cheers to the mother effing weekend. Yes, we may.
I'm not even going to do sports. You can just jump right in.
All right, well,
Dallas Cowboys beat the New York Giants. Don't matter what the score was. A W is a W, okay?
I said
All
that.
right, let's talk about that.
Let's talk, but y'all lost to the Ravens last week. Okay, let's talk about that.
It don't even matter. We still got a better record than the Ravens.
Okay.
We're 500. You're 1-2.
You on here talking heavy today, Charla.
He did. He choosing violence early on a Friday. Just because of the weekend, he got 2 days. Anyways, let's get into it. More details are coming out about New York City Mayor Eric Adams, who is being accused of bribery, receiving campaign contributions from foreign nationals, and wire fraud. Damian Williams, United States Attorney in New York, announced the charges in a press conference yesterday. Let's hear what that sounded like.
Today, we are announcing campaign finance, bribery, and conspiracy charges against Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City. As the indictment alleges, Mayor Adams engaged in a long-running conspiracy in which he solicited and knowingly accepted illegal campaign contributions from foreign donors and corporations. As we allege, Mayor Adams took these contributions even though he knew they were illegal, and even though he knew these contributions were attempts by a Turkish government official and Turkish businessmen to buy influence with him.
Yeah, they went on and listed different instances in which the mayor actually may have, or alleged that the mayor he was doing these acts. Now, before federal authorities announced the charges yesterday, Mayor Adams, he held a press conference urging New Yorkers not to rush to judgment. Let's hear those comments from Mayor Adams.
This is not surprising to us at all. The actions that have unfolded over the last 10 months, the leaks, the commentary, the demonizing. It's an unfortunate day, and it's a painful day. But inside of all of that, it's a day when we will finally reveal why for 10 months I have gone through this. And I ask New Yorkers to wait to hear our defense before making any judgments. I will continue to do the job for 8.3 million New Yorkers that I was elected to do.
Now, this comes as other elected officials are calling for him to step down. And that presser was actually interrupted by protesters who said this is a you thing, talking to the mayor, not a black thing. So they don't, black population said, don't get it. Now, why are we in it? Federal agents also carried out a search of his New York City residence yesterday morning, literally while we were on the radio, 6 a.m. Several agents showed up to Gracie Mansion. A lawyer for Adams said they were looking for his phone, which was seized last year by FBI agents. And his campaign has been under investigation since 2021 for alleging the conspiring with Turkish government for illegal donations. Now, New York Governor Kathy Hochul, she hints that she might take action against him. She made a statement late last night saying that she wrote that her options she's reviewing her options and obligations, describing the Adams incident, or the indictment rather, as the latest in the disturbing pattern of events that has contributed to a sense of unease. She went on to say, I expect that the mayor will take a few days to review the situation and find an appropriate path forward to ensure the people of New York City are being well served by their leaders. Now, Adams and Hochul have been key allies since they both took office. So I know this is hard for the governor and the mayor to be having to deal with this type of thing. What are you guys' thoughts on after the press conferences and everything that's come out?
I don't know, y'all. I thought it was going to be way more. I felt like the way that they led this up, the everything they did prior to, and I know they got to get evidence to prove whatever they need to prove. And I know that if this is true, what was done is a crime. But the way that they painted this picture,
I thought it was gonna be a lot worse.
I thought he was like bringing bombs over from somewhere or something. Like, I don't know. I was like, wait, this is it? Like, this is illegal. Yes, if he did it, but like, I don't know. I expected more.
But they were saying they have to prove that Eric Adams gave favoritism to whoever gave those donations, and if they can't prove that he gave favoritism or moved something because of those donations, it really means nothing. So we'll see. I don't know if he'll step down. It seems like they're trying to force him to step down now.
I mean, it's interesting, right? Like, I've heard Mayor Adams here on the Breakfast Club say he feels like black mayors are under attack all over America.
The real focus should be on our national government that's saying, why are you doing this to New York? Check out what they're doing. They're doing it to New York. They're doing it to Chicago. They're doing it to Los Angeles. They're doing it to Houston. What is the same in all those cities? All black mayors. So the cities have now turned against these black mayors that are making real change for the first time.
By over-policing black people.
And they're using this to say, okay, these black mayors are not competent. They can't run their cities. They're getting everything to the migrants and asylum seekers. This was a perfectly executed plan that we are buying into.
To make black mayors look bad across the country.
Yep.
I've heard people say, I think it was yesterday, I think it was the front of the Post, one of the papers, I forgot, but they said they believe it's because he spoke out against the Biden administration in regards to the migrant crisis. Matter of fact, Mayor Adams said that here too on Breakfast Club. But the reality is, they can't get you on anything if you don't have anything.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So even if you do speak out, against an administration, if they go looking under the hood for something, if it's nothing there, it's nothing there. But if it's something there, they're gonna use it against you. I do just wonder how many politicians, take illegal contributions like this.
Yes.
I just wonder if you looked under the hood of all of these elected officials, how many people, take what they call illegal contributions, free flights, in exchange for doing things like, pushing building permits or just anything. I just wonder if you go searching under the hood of all these elected officials, how many of them do stuff like this?
That's
I just
how
wonder.
I felt too. Like I felt like it's something that like we probably don't know, but happens all the time. But it's not right. But I don't know.
Probably more common than we know is what you're getting at.
Yes.
All right. We'll get into, we're watching now Tropical Storm Helene has been demoted from a hurricane to a tropical storm. We'll talk more about that. The VP and President Biden on the other side.
I will also say too, it made me want to just look into Turkish Airlines. I like looking at airlines and seeing how nice they are. I wonder how nice Turkish Airlines is, because boy, when I was looking at them prices for them upgrades, it was like $30,000 for him to fly in business class.
They said extra $16K for one flight. I was like, well, what do they do on them flights?
That's what I want to see, because I've flown Emirates before. Emirates is amazing, but I'd want to see what Turkish Airlines hitting on.
Yeah, no, Turkish is expensive. So is Emirates. They both comparable. I like Emirates a little better though.
You been on Turkish before?
Yes.
Where does Turkish fly? Just Turkey?
No. It flies everywhere overseas. It usually flies where Emirates flies.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, that is front page news. Get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, hit us up now. Phone lines are wide open. Again, 800-585-1051. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRosa filling in for Jess. And let's get in some front page news. Morgan, let's get right to it. After football scores.
All right, let's do it.
It don't matter what the score was, but just know that the Dallas Cowboys beat the New York Giants last night. Our record is 2-2. The New York Giants are 1-3. Okay? Let's just throw that out there.
You know what else is insufferable? Hurricane Helene. We're now dealing with the aftermath of a hurricane because the hurricane has been downgraded to a tropical storm. Helene still has maximum sustained winds of 70 miles per hour as it rolls across southern Georgia and is still causing heavy rains and life-threatening storm surge. A tropical storm warning remains in effect for parts of northern Florida, and a storm surge warning is in effect for Florida's Big Bend region, where Helene first came ashore as the strongest hurricane in history to hit Florida's Big Bend region. Now, the storm should weaken as it moves inland further through damaging winds are still expected in parts of the southeastern U.S. and into southern Appalachians. Tornadoes are also possible in the morning in eastern Georgia, the Carolinas, and southern Virginia. Now, President Biden and VP Harris spoke about the storm yesterday at an event at the White House, urging people to take it seriously, and also noted that FEMA resources are available to areas impacted by the storm. 3 deaths have been reported as a result of the storm, 2 in Florida, 1 in Georgia, and a host of outages in the path of that storm. So we are, of course, sending people in the path of that storm well wishes, and make sure you take advantage of those resources that are available. Now, President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, they hosted the former president of Ukraine, Vladimir Zelensky, at the White House. But before I get into that, President Biden and VP Harris and the White House Office of Gun Violence and Prevention announced new executive orders yesterday to improve school-based active shooter drills to combat the emerging threats of machine gun conversion devices like switches, 3D printing, and they also increase funding for community violence intervention. Here's a quick clip from President Biden regarding that announcement.
If you want to talk about reducing crime and violence in America, you need to talk about guns in America.
So on Thursday, both the VP and the president noted that the number one cause of death for children in America is gun violence, and they said that must change. They said while they're still in favor of the Second Amendment, they agree it is time to reinstate an assault weapons ban and pass common sense gun laws. I think you guys should have Action Jackson on here to talk more about those efforts, because it is
Action Jackson. Carl Weathers, God bless the dead. I thought he passed away.
No, not that act. That's what he calls himself. His name is Gregory Jackson. He's the head of the White House Office of Gun Violence and Prevention. But mainly, it's about having the awareness. I mean, we talked about it before, but they're making these efforts to make sure that people are aware that guns are killing people and at disparaging rates, and it's unnecessary to the level that it is. There was a busy day at the White House yesterday. So, of course, President Biden and Vice President Harris, they hosted Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky, and they are reaffirming their support for Ukraine. Let's hear from Biden and Harris in regards to those efforts.
Let me be clear. Russia will not prevail in war. Russia will not prevail. Ukraine will prevail, and we'll continue to stand by you every step of the way.
I've been proud to stand with Ukraine. I will continue to stand with Ukraine, and I will work to ensure Ukraine prevails in this war.
So, of course, this comes as the Ukrainian president visited the White House and the war against Russia rages on. Now, Zelensky also spoke. He's presenting his victory plan in separate meetings with President Biden and Vice President Harris. The Ukrainian president is set to push for more immediate help to fight off Russia's invasion and will ask for long-term security guarantees that may stay in place after the American leadership changes. Let's hear from Zelensky.
Today we are preparing to discuss the details to strengthen the plan, coordinate our positions, views, and approaches. Our teams will work together to ensure the implementation of our future steps.
I wonder how much it costs to win a war. You know what I mean? Like what is the number? Like, is there a number that people know where they say, hey, if you spend this much money on a war, you're probably going to win the war? It's like, with presidential campaigns, they know if you spend, a certain amount of money is a great chance that you'll probably win the election. Like, I wonder how much it costs to win a war.
Well, it depends, I'm sure, who you're warring with and how much money they have. Because if you spend 100 and they spend 100, or they spend 200, so I guess it has to be with whoever you're fighting, how much they're spending as well.
But that's my point. How much does it cost to win a war?
It got to be big bank take little bank, right?
Absolutely. It's definitely who got the most money. So I think that's essentially where Zelensky is coming from. He's looking for support from us and, of course, those other NATO allies. Speaking of which,
I wonder what that number is. I really want to know what that number is.
Yeah, I'll look into that for you and see if I can have that for you on Monday. Meanwhile, former President Donald Trump, he is meeting with Zelensky today. Let's hear what Trump has to say in regards to that meeting.
As you know, President Zelensky is asked to meet with me, and I will be meeting with him tomorrow morning at around 9:45 in Trump Tower. Europe is paying only a small fraction of the money that the United States of America is paying, and we have an ocean between Russia and ourselves. They don't.
Zelensky having that just in case meeting. He was like, just in case Donald Trump does win in November, let me make sure we still good.
That's right.
Absolutely. So Trump says he does have a plan about negotiating the end of the war between Ukraine and Russia. He again asserted the war would not have even started if he was president. And they will meet later today, Zelensky and Trump at Trump Tower. So, we'll see what happens as a result of that. And I will look into that for you, Charlamagne. What is the cost of war?
I got a Forbes article, but this is just for comparison. And it says in 20 years since September 11, 2001, this was in 2021, The United States has spent more than $2 trillion on the war in Afghanistan. That's $300 million per
Jesus
day,
Christ.
every day for 2 decades, or $50,000 for each Afghanistan's 40 million people. That's a lot of money.
That's 2021.
So they're saying 20 years since September 11th. So yeah, it would have been 2021 is when these numbers came out in Forbes, and they said in that time it's been $2 trillion. That equaled to $300 million per day, every day for 2 decades.
Jesus.
And
Christ.
that's just Afghanistan. That's not even counting.
That's just what we focused on with Afghanistan.
So we just printing money.
I'll send you this article.
We just printing money.
Because I didn't fully read through it, but that's the.
No, thank you for that, Lauren. No, for real, it does give insight. Sheesh. Well, that's your front page news. Follow me on social. I'm Morgan Wood. You can follow me at Morgan Media. And for more news coverage, make sure you're listening to the Black Information Network. Download that free iHeartRadio app and visit us at BINnews.com. Y'all have a great weekend. That's a lot.
Wake that ass up. Early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.